Hey, Dieter Meyer from Biomex Informatics in Munich. So this is a more practical part now. It's about taking some nanotoxicology data and making it fair, making it findable, making it reusable. And the problem is quite a simple one, and we provide NanoCommons, the knowledge portal that will help to do that. And I'd like to thank my colleagues Beatrix and Ivan who actually created that portal. So the issue is, now we have a bit of background on the theory of ontologies, but the issue is quite simple. You're in an experimental lab, you have suffered for months in your lab, and then you finally have your valuable result, and it's 28.9. Oh, that's great. Yeah. And if you're lucky, you remember what you did 3 months ago, and you know what it is. Anyone else won't. But if it's a DLS of 28.9 nanometers of a silicium oxide particle that doesn't have any coating and that has been dried by 3 hours of ultracentrifugation, then it's no longer data, it's actually information. And at least some of you will be expert enough to know what it means and to know what to do with it. I don't, I'm a bioinformatician, I have no idea. Okay, so that's what you want to transform your data into information that others can reuse, even if they are not the absolute experts in the field. So for me, that would mean please also describe what DLS is, because I have no idea. So what is actually the needed information? I mean, there is lots of discussion about what is the needed information, but probably you can agree on a few things. So probably you can agree that the overall experimental design that this has been measured in would be nice. So if it's toxicology data, it would be nice to know that it has been 80 zebrafish embryos that have been imaged and exposed for 2 days. Then there's also the sample treatment. So once you have taken the embryos, maybe how they have been treated before you were able to image them, what was the antibody to mark them, and so on. And then that's the actual variables that you have measured. So DLS or cell viability or whatever. During the hackathon, what we prepared is actually part 2 and 3. So describing how the sample has been treated and describing the variables that you have measured. Not yet the overall experimental design, but that's something you should know. Okay, if you'd like to follow me into the knowledge portal, then the URL is https://biomex.de NanoCommons, and we prepared a user called Hackathon with an uppercase H, and then the password is Hackathon again with a lowercase h. Okay, and I'm sure the portal will break down immediately now because everyone is logging in, so bear with me and let the wheel go on. I'll go there as well. And I'll need a second as well. Sorry. Okay, so it might take a bit longer for you because it's first time logging. So what we did is we prepared a data set.
The URL again, if you don't mind.
So yes, it's https://biomex.de/nanocommons.
Yeah.
Password is Hackathon with a lowercase h. User is uppercase h. I'll put on the slide after the presentation. Okay, so we prepared, or actually Tassos prepared a dataset for annotation, and that dataset, I think I need to sit down, sorry, but scrolling is much easier. So the dataset is about a set of nanoparticles. It's 16 different nanoparticles. They have some aliquot that they are actually coming from, so some batch. And then you have some information like type, coating, DLS, PDI, and if your screen is small, there's a plus here that allows you to scroll down to further information. CETA, TM, and whatever. Okay, so that's basically the variables that would need information if you upload that dataset, because unless you know what DLS is, it will be hard to find. And what we prepared to do that is 2 templates. There's an investigation template. And if I'm going for the investigation template, that's giving me a set of variables. We prepared some, but not all of them. And we did an example of the first 2. We annotated them. So the DLS is already annotated with a eNanoMapper ontology term. It's coming from, as you can see here, the nanoparticle ontology. So it's drawn in from that ontology. And it tells you that DLS is dynamic light scattering. So for actually going about the annotation, what you can do, or what you would need to do is, if you want to have a data set, you can just export the data set. You can either export all 16 of them or individual ones by going for those checkboxes and then going for export and go for Excel or tab delimited, whichever you prefer. And that will give you a data file. And just to open that and show you what it looks like, it looks exactly like the screen, so no surprises here. Your aliquot, your type, and so on. Okay. So for annotation, you would have to go to the download investigation template, and you would actually have to download that template, at least one entry. You can take all 16 of them that have been prepared, or you can do your own. You export here, download, and then that's your template for the upload. So that's your Excel. And what we need, or what you need to do is, you need to add a new variable here, if it's not the one that's already downloaded. And then you need to come up with the eNanoMapper term that's actually describing that variable. Okay. And to come up with that term, you can go to the bio portal, or you can actually go to browse ontologies here, and you can go for browsing. So you can either scroll through the entire ontology, 4,000 terms, it's not that cool, or you can search for it. And PI is obviously not a good term, so DLS, that's a better term. And then you can go for the term. It will show you how the term is based in the hierarchy. And if you go on it, it gives you the distribution, the description. And if you go like, oh yeah, it looks good, but I'd like rather go for the parent, you just continue going up, and you'll see that there's a size distribution, which is a polydispersity, whatever that is, and so on. And then you have to decide at some point that's the right term. That's where you have lots of discussions if you're not doing that alone. And then you copy paste that into this template. Let me just, because I just have one freehand here, let me just do it like this. So this is obviously wrong, but that doesn't matter. And then if you've done with all your parameters, you would actually go back into the portal. You go back, and then you would go for upload investigation template. Okay. Choose a file, an Excel file that you just changed, and then you upload, which I won't do because I edited wrongly. Okay. So currently there's no check whatsoever whether this is correct or not, because the system doesn't know that's human work. The second part is actually the sample template, so describing how your sample has been treated, and just for you also to be able to experience the difference. For this one, we made a free text available. So just assuming that there are some things that the eNanoMap or ontology currently does not cover, and you want to add a description, or you would want to add information that's not yet in eNanoMap, so you can provide a free text description to them. And that's basically the portal and how you can use the portal.